Are you still waiting on your IRS tax refund? If so, I have some good news, bad news, and the latest tax refund update from the IRS. In this video, I'll recap the latest with the ongoing tax refund delays, including the latest news from the IRS that impacts taxpayers. I'll also cover some new tips on getting through to the IRS by phone and the cutoff date to e-file your 2021 tax return. Hi, I'm Noel Lorenzana, your friendly neighborhood accountant. According to the IRS, as of October 21st, 2022, they had 5.1 million unprocessed individual tax returns. These include tax year 2021 returns and the late filed prior year returns. Of these, 2.1 million returns require error correction or other special handling, and 3 million are paper returns waiting to be reviewed and processed. This work does not typically require them to correspond with taxpayers, but it does require special handling by an IRS employee. So in these instances, it's taking the IRS much more time to issue any tax-related refund. Of these 5 million unprocessed tax returns, it makes you wonder how much of these will carry over into next year with the new tax season starting in just a few months. In addition, the IRS is answering less than 10% of the phone calls it receives, and that number is probably a high estimate. Part of the problem here is due to moving these employees over to FEMA disaster call centers. Later in the video, I'll share some new tips on how to get through to the IRS by phone. You don't want to miss it. How much longer will you need to wait for your tax refund? The IRS continues to process tax returns that need to be manually reviewed due to errors. For returns received in the current year, they processed individual tax returns for which refunds are due first. Tax returns reflecting taxes owed are processed last. But if a payment is mailed with the tax return, the payment is separated upon receipt and deposited to ensure the taxpayer account is credited for the payment. As the return is processed, whether it was filed electronically or on paper, it may be delayed because it maybe has a mistake, is missing information, or there's suspected identity theft or fraud. If they can fix it without contacting you, they will. If they need more information or need you to verify anything, they'll send you a letter. So what should you do now? According to the IRS, in most cases, no further action is needed, whether you filed electronically or by paper. They will contact you by mail if they need more information or if they made a change to your tax return. If you filed electronically and received an acknowledgement, you don't need to take any further action other than promptly responding to any requests for more information. If you're due a refund and filed on paper more than 6 months ago, and "Where's my refund" doesn't indicate they received your return, the IRS advises that you should resubmit your tax return electronically if possible. An additional note on paper filed tax returns: if you're still waiting on your paper tax return to be processed, do note that last year the IRS had an error rate of 22% when they manually processed paper returns. So if there's an issue with your return when you do finally get your refund, keep that in mind. Will there be tax refund delays next year? My best guess is that we'll see the same repeat of what we saw this year with regard to tax return processing and tax refund delays, but probably not as bad. Some of the tax return backlog from this year will likely carry over into next year. My advice is to file early, file accurately, and file electronically to minimize any potential tax refund delays next year. What is the last day to electronically file your tax return in 2022? The IRS announced that on November 26, 2022, the MEF, or Modernized E-File program, will go offline for annual maintenance. So be sure to submit your electronically filed tax return by that date. Otherwise, you'll have to wait until sometime in January of 2023. If you need to call the IRS, check out my video here where I show you how to shortcut the IRS phone maze with the latest tricks. I've been able to get through sometimes immediately, and in the video on a Friday at 5 p.m. under 5 minutes. My best strategy is to call early right when they open or call late before they close, and avoid calling early in the week. Even with these tips, it can be difficult to get through, but just keep on trying. If you found the video helpful, please hit the like or subscribe button. And if you're watching, consider yourself a member of the Ask an Accountant community. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.